Good evening, one and all. It's Wednesday, it's the middle of the week. It is time we be jumping into some more good old Warframe. Welcome on everyone. Hope you are having yourselves as good a day as you can wherever you are around the world. We are back in the very, very busy looking orbiter that is the Engineer orbiter rather than Dan's orbiter. There is a very distinct difference in the number of collected items, isn't there? Welcome on everyone. Welcome. Tea in hand, of course. Always gotta have that ready. Always nice to have. And Mirrorlade, thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs you put out to the community in the starting soon screen there. Going out to Shugard, to VN Karika, to LJ Barker, to Alpha Beth Soup, and to Ask Wheels. Now, Mirrorlade, just a quick question. Is my history, stream alert history correct? Because I'm looking at something a little bit unusual here, Mirrorlade, and maybe you intended for it to not be a topic on stream, maybe not. You told me nothing. But I noticed something there. But we'll leave that to Mirrorlade before we take that any further. Anyway. Mark 1 Paris. Oh yes, because I put together a thumbnail using Vault. But it's kind of hard to make good thumbnails with a character that has access to no capturer. It was a test for a new macro / plugin. I'm not sure what macro or plugin would necessitate that, but you know, fair enough, Mirrorlade. Fair enough, thank you. Cheers, Kelton. Alright then. Yeah, the Mark 1 Paris, that can go away. Let's just equip some fun, simple primary weapon. That's right for now, that'll do. So today, we're going to be looking at 3 very important mods: Galvanized Steel, Galvanized Reflex, Galvanized Elementalist. Let's have a look at these 3 here. They're not brand new to the game. They didn't come out yesterday or something like that, but they're still pretty darn close. Because I might have to betray team and drinking hot chocolate recently and fallen in love. Yeah, fair enough. I probably would drink lots of hot chocolate, except for 1, I like to watch my sugar intake, and 2, it would actually make me sick, unfortunately. Apparently I am part dog biology. Chocolate and me is a very bad combo. So, people tell me that hot chocolate is nice, or just chocolate in general. I don't get that experience. I am not permitted that experience, apparently. Anyway, so these mods have come out. We've got Galvanized Steel, Galvanized Reflex, Galvanized Elementalist. Galvanized Steel is the galvanized version of True Steel or Sacrificial Steel. Galvanized Reflex is the upgrade from, I think it's Reflex Coil. Yeah, Reflex Coil.
Kangi Esprit, Kangi Esprit, Kangi Esprit.
And Galvanized Elementalist is Melee Elementalist, but Galvanized. Tiger Trophy, thank you very much for the tier 1 sub there. 6 months in advance. Ah, lovely. Thank you very much for that. That is a whole half year you got signed up there. Much appreciated. And don't you worry, you've got more than half a year to look forward to as well. Also, Esprit, it appears that your arrival was heralded by Tychantrophy there. What do you know? What do you know? I'm just saying, got the Platinum. It was all turned into Former. You know what? That does tend to happen with Platinum giveaways. They either turn into Cosmetics or Former. There doesn't seem to be much of an in-between. A couple slots here or there might happen, but mostly it ends up being one of those two. Dr. Victor saying, in my experience, the extra crit damage from Galvanized Steel isn't worth the severe drop in crit chance from Sacrificial Steel. Now that is interesting. That is very, very interesting that you say that, Dr. Victor, because it so happens I didn't just start looking at these mods right this second. I have been looking at them a little bit more. And in fact, the Glaive Prime was my starting location to look at these because the Glaive Prime can handle all 3 of these mods rather happily, actually. Rather happily. So let me just open up my research folder. Melee Research, there it is. Okay. So here are some numbers to run by, y'all. With the Sacrificial set on Glaive Prime here. Glaive Prime has a base 22% critical chance. Its light melee attacks would therefore have a 82.5% critical chance, and its heavy melee attacks a 1.43. Sorry, 143%, not 1.43. 143% critical chance. Okay? Which means when we multiply with the critical multiplier on these weapons, its light melee attacks will be a 3.31 times average, whereas the heavy melee would be 5.00 times average. Pretty solid numbers, 3.3 and 5.0. If we then switch over to galvanized steel, keeping the organ shatter in place, we jump up to a 6.2 times critical multiplier at maximum, but we drop down the critical chance. The crit chance on light attacks is only 46.2% rather than 82.5%, and on heavy attacks comes down from 143% to only 70%. And yet, the light attack melee damage rises on average from 3.31 to 3.4. The heavy attack comes down from 5.00 to 4.66. So it seemed that on a heavy attack weapon, like the glaive, galvanized steel isn't a good choice. It's less. It's come down by a little under 10%. But that's not the only thing that changes. In switching over to galvanized steel, there is no longer a reason to be using sacrificial pressure, because sacrificial pressure is objectively weaker than primed pressure point. The only reason to use it is to increase the critical chance given by sacrificial steel, and those two do work together better than using prime pressure point. That's an older discussion. So as it turns out, we must take into account that factor as well, of using prime pressure point instead of sacrificial pressure. Sacrificial pressure comes out to 137.5% pure damage at max, prime pressure point is 165%, and we also have killing blow, which is 120%. So when we run all of that together, we bring together the pure damage bonuses and the crit bonuses, the heavy attack Glaive Prime sacrificial set comes out to a multiplier of 17.8893. That's a lot of significant figures, but I'm keeping them. 17.8893, whereas with the galvanized steel and prime pressure point, it comes out to 17.9410. We increase the multiplier by practically nothing. Practically nothing. Which means that the two at that point are almost dead even. In fact, what is the actual percentage difference here? It's 0.29% difference. 0.29% difference. However, it also means, even without formers taken into consideration, because this, by the way, is a no umbral former setup, this was using the the umbrals before, prime pressure point is 14 drain, galvanized steel is 12 drain, that's 26, whereas the two sacrificials at full leveling is a total of 32, so you save 6 drain already. It is cheaper to former in for these two mods, so you can get it even lower there. And even just a little reduction here has given me the room to include Galvanized Elementalist and something else if I desire up here. If I wanted to include Tenakai, I could. If I wanted to include something else, I could go down that road. Because it's a Galvanized mod, it needs to ramp up. So the ramp on the Galvanized melee mods, Ladybug, actually has one single feature across all of them. All 3 of them use on melee kill, gain the bonus for 20 seconds, stacks up to 4 times, and is a decay stack. So none of the BS around the critical stacks you get on the guns, where they are independent. None of the BS where they have different timers, like 12 seconds here and 20 seconds there and 24 seconds there. None of the BS where some of them are 3 kills, some of them are 5 kills, some of them are headshot kills. It's just kills, just 20 seconds, just 4 stacks, all decaying stacks. It's about as easy as it gets. Can we remove Organ Shatter if we use Galvanized Steel? So that I still need to run the numbers on if I want to remove it. It's not like we can replace it with Sacrificial Steel because they're incompatible mods. And Organ Chatter is still providing a straight up 90% crit damage bonus, which means you've got some crit damage bonus to start with before this scales up. As well as still adding together, and it's worth 3/4 of the bonus you gain from Galvanized Steel as well, which is a significant critical damage increase. Absolutely. So if we bring this all together, it looks like so far that the Galvanized set wins out on the teeny tiniest bit of damage, average damage output on the crits, but more importantly is also cheaper to fit. But there is another feature of Glaive Prime in particular, and this is very particular to Glaive Prime, not every weapon's going to benefit this way, in Melee Duplicate. Melee Duplicate will literally duplicate the melee attack if you have a normal critical hit. Not orange, not red, not non-critical, only yellow crit. This triggers, and it'll give you a second hit. Which means, quite simply, the chance of you landing a yellow crit is the chance of this activating, is the amount of extra damage you'll get. If you yellow crit half the time, you effectively get half as many hits again. With Galvanized Steel, you'll reach, as I said, a 70.4% crit chance, whereas with Sacrificial Steel, you hit 143, which means with Sacrificial Steel, 57% of your hits will be yellow crits. With Galvanized Steel, 70% of your hits will be yellow crits. By that margin of crit chance on either side of that 100% marker, the Galvanized Glaive yellow crits more often than the Sacrificial Glaive. So as a result, it ends up utilizing Melee Duplicate more, getting more damage out of it. That very narrow damage margin suddenly opens up a whole chunk. Entirely and solely with Melee Duplicate. Not even counting the ease of modding. So it's cheaper to fit, it's easier to fit, and it gives you better results. Specifically here.
Hey Ken.
Hello Mythic Spirit. Thank you very much for dropping that Prime sub over here. Up onto 20 months. What a lovely round number there. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Blind Guy saying, so Glaive Prime is single target, where Osiris Falcor will be grouped via melee influence. I mean, Glaive Prime is still an explosive AoE weapon. But if you want to use melee influence, you absolutely can, and you'll still get the teeny tiniest bit more damage output technically on Glaive Prime here with that kind of output. But it doesn't stop there. What was the QTCC total from this channel? I think it was $5,066 in the end. In fact, the page should still be live. Let me quickly check it. 5,066, my memory serves me. 5,066 raised. Oh boy. Y'all really popped off on that. Y'all absolutely popped off on that. Thank you for giving you something to focus on. Appreciate it. After all, math is math. Math absolutely is math. Doesn't matter what else you do, numbers still number. They add, they subtract, they divide, and they conquer. Something like that, anyway. Now, the numbers on this do get very awkward very quickly. You see, I've just given you all the rundown on Galvanized Steel for Glaive Prime in the numbers very specifically for this weapon. Very specifically for this weapon. If someone signed off this stream by this point and thought they knew everything about Galvanized Steel, they're going to be hilariously wrong, and that's what they get for running away without waiting for a conclusion. That's what they get. Because you see, this only works. This whole conversation of Galvanized Steel, Prime Pressure Point, blah 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 blah, only works because the Glaive Prime has 22% critical chance and 2 times critical multiplier. And those are some very important numbers. If you go for a lower critical multiplier than that, you have a weapon which is very bad for crits. At that point, you often don't want to build for crits. Why would you build for a critical weapon which is giving you less than twice the damage on the base critical hit? it just gives you a very low number to work with. You might end up preferring to go down a pure status route, or just use a different weapon, let's be real. If you have a higher critical damage multiplier at base, then you get a better effect from increasing your critical chance to secure more of those crits. And so it actually then starts to swing in favour of the sacrificial steel approach. Is a 2 variable optimization problem? Oh, it's worse than that under average. It is worse than that. If you lower the critical chance, you're going to have a relatively poxy weapon to begin with, but further still, when you lower the critical chance, you would pull the weapon with galvanized steel further away from melee duplicate, while pushing sacrificial steel closer to melee duplicate. Because melee duplicate is an anchor at the 100% mark, dropping just down to 20% critical chance, which by the way is the Zoris, you end up reaching a point where melee duplicate is better with sacrificial steel. Just that little bit, that teeny tiny drop down, swings it back the other way. And the Zoris has a 2.4 times base critical multiplier, meaning it gets more value from the additional crits you can give it. Because of the curves that come out of this, the crit chance equation. So as much as here galvanized steel is the correct answer for Glade Prime, when you then use Zoris, it doesn't quite agree with you the same. But does this mean that the Zoris should always use sacrificial steel instead of galvanized steel? No. No, it doesn't. Because if we remember, critical chance could be obtained in a number of different places, and that includes a very common one to pick up, not Warth, Wrathful Advance. A pure final crit chance addition which absolutely eclipses the bonuses you can get from most mods. Absolutely eclipses it. So if you're using Wrathful Advance, now you want the extra crit damage again. Doesn't the duplicator hit roll for crit separately? It does, but it's irrelevant to the conversation in that it'll do that with all weapons. It's effectively just a multiplier to your damage based on how close to 100% crit chance you are. In all functionality it is that. With the exception of breakpoints of overkill. How does final crit chance work? If your crit chance is X and the final crit chance bonus is Y, your final crit chance is X plus Y. That's how. So in the case of Glade Prime, if you add 70% and you add Wrathful Advance at 100%, you get 170%. That's how final crit works. It is a flat value added to the final result you get, rather than a modifier. Yeah, rather than multiplying off the base value or something. So, if you have Wrathful Advance, galvanized steel is basically just better. Basically just better. So now we finally have all of the details right. Oh wait, sorry, I need to go back into this room. Base critical chance is only tier 1, yellow crit, yeah. If you hit orange crit, it doesn't work. So you see, you know how the helmet can give you critical chance? Well, it can also give you critical damage. You can get 25% melee critical damage per Crimson Archon Shard, or 50% per Violet Shard if you have the right energy amount. And so if you stack a whole bunch of these, you can get yourself 250% critical damage bonus, which absolutely eclipses galvanized steel at only 120%, and even with Organ Shatter at 90%, the two together are still less than what a full rack of those shards will do, and that's not even considering Talforge. That's not even considering Talforge. Talforge would take that to 375%. At that point, you're beating out Galvanized Steel plus Organ Shatter plus Gladiator Might. Which is a lot of critical damage, and at that point then you want a lot of critical chance, and so Sacrificial Steel becomes better again. And as if that wasn't enough. As if that wasn't enough. You remember how I was talking about Prime Pressure Point? Well, hello Killing Blow, it's also a pure damage increase. If you choose to not use Killing Blow in a build, you then further skew the benefits of Prime Pressure Point versus Sacrificial Pressure in a Sacrificial build versus a Galvanized build. And you have to account for that as well. There's going to be so many graphs. It reaches the point where graphing it out is no longer helpful. It genuinely reaches the point where graphing it out is no longer helpful. The point it reaches is to say, you need to understand your own personal bonuses, because certainly when it comes to the use of abilities, arcanes outside of the melee arcane, and the use of Archon Shards, you have such personal control over the stats that it's no longer the weapon that really decides it. It's no longer the weapon. There are over a dozen crit and crit damage cases. There's a lot. 40 graphs, 40 would not be enough. If I were to try and cover all of the cases, the graphs would need to consider both critical chance and critical damage, which varies between melee weapons. The graphs would need to consider heavy attack versus light attack. The graphs would need to consider then 6 cases of Archon Shards. More if you want to account for using Crimsons instead of Violets, but now we're just getting ridiculous. Actually, more than 6, we could also account for Tau Forge, so let's make that even more cases. And then we have to also account for variability in the crit chance from Wrathful Advance, from Arcane Avenger, from Harrow's Covenant, from Adaza Kavat, from Smeeta Kavat. All of those different modifiers to potential crit chance situations, and those are not discrete. Those are not this value, or that value, or that value, or that value. Those end up giving you basically a curve of existence, which is just a whole nother dimension to consider. So at that point, there is no way to communicate in a way that is helpful. There is no graph that can possibly tell you when you should use one mod over the other without first having already answered everything about your build. Everything. Which brings us to the easier way to do it. Bring yourself to your build and then decide which one you want to use. Rather than making this a generalized answer, we want a generalized question. Yes, this requires a little bit more thinking on your part, as the viewer. I'm sorry, there is no getting around that. Welcome to modern Warframe modding. You have options. I'm so sorry to let you know this. It is no longer the case of just slash viral or heap viral everything. It's no longer the older case of just corrosive your way through the Grineer. You have to actually think for just 1 minute. Think hard enough to put a couple numbers into a simple equation, and I hope I can make it simple, to decide which one do you use. Vulture asking, Raw or Wrathful Advance for Volt with Inadem melee influence? Oh dear God. How does one even properly answer that? Because as I just said, you've got all the variation of where you got Galvanized Steel that could be affecting your crits and where you're going with that. You've got the option of going into Orgchetta and Gladiator Might, or how much more crit damage, and maybe you're using Violet Shards or Crimson Shards or some other number of shards to further affect what your melee is capable of doing. And as much as Raw can give you a damage bonus, it's a 30% base, 69% base on your status damage, which is nice. But then you start accounting for how much strength has your Vault got. You haven't specified that. How does that key into Wrathful Advance? Because Wrathful Advance is going to give you a linear increase, whereas Raw is going to give you a squared increase because of the double application. So there's going to be a crossover point where one is better than the other, but not the other way around. There's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. And ultimately, the real answer is... And this is going to be a very controversial answer. I know this is going to be controversial. The real answer is that if you are modding even moderately correctly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because it's the Inodem with a Subsume, with a Vault, with melee influence. What's still alive? What mission do you find yourself in where you need to optimize your power level at that point? If you really wanted to hit damage cap, you would summon a Mirror Labe. If you really wanted to hit the absolute funniest of numbers, you'd go for an entirely different build altogether. So if it's not about hitting maximum funny numbers or maximum funny crits, if you're just trying to be practical about it and get the most kills per minute, you're going to be running up against a limit of the spawning system rather than the weaknesses of your weapon. One thing you can think of is that one Steel Path Murmur boss. Hey, guess what? That one Steel Path Murmur boss is not where you take melee influence. Because what are you influencing? Most of the time, the boss is alone. All the ads around it barely matter. Since Raw is a universal damage buff, it can buff up gas AoE, I guess. I mean, yes. Sure. Are you using a gas AoE on your electric, non-guaranteed electric proc primer of a weapon? I mean, if you want to. Sure, why not? But here's the thing, is that crits also improve the gas damage. So you haven't answered anything by saying, well, since Raw, because also since Wrathful Advance. You actually haven't answered anything. Like I say, the amount of damage is really not going to matter. Is your weapon really struggling in the mission you're using in Vulture? In fact, I want to be clear, that's an actual question. Is your Inodem build, as you currently have it, struggling in a mission? Genuine question. Is it struggling? No. There you are then. The subsume of Raw or Wrathful Advance or Eclipse even actually doesn't matter for your damage output because you're not struggling. You just want to see funny numbers? If you want to see big numbers, Wrathful Advance. Because Raw gives you a smaller, specific increase, but it then also gives you a bigger increase on the status procs, which themselves are already smaller because they're status procs, they tend to do less damage. They have reductive multipliers on them. Raw is just double applying. If you want to see the big silly numbers, Wrathful Advance is going to be the one, stacked with strength, because then your crits go way alright up into the sky. Easy. Would Base Magister or Sancti be better for heavy slam influence? Base Magister. Base Magister, yeah. The Sancti has lower benefits on it. That's the thing with this game, is that you reach a point where the amount of power you can deliver is so utterly ridiculous. Thank you, Titan. The power that you can deliver is so utterly ridiculous that it stops mattering what kind of power you're doing. And instead it comes down to what do you enjoy using? What doesn't break some other part of your setup? On the nature of you Loker, is a purity augment worth using on Furious Incarnate? I mean, it should give you near enough infinite health. So if you're health tanking, yes. If you're not health tanking, no. Because the syndicate effects kind of suck outside of early game, maybe into mid game. Maybe into mid game they can still have value, but mostly they're an early game thing in terms of the value of the power they give. Early game, when you get that thing to trigger, it's just a nuke. Thereafter, it's kind of like, oh, did I gain some health? And singed a couple enemies. Yay. But the lifesteal is nice, and that only applies if you're a health tank. Everyone else does not need that much health. If you are needing that much health, you're dead. Yeah. Glad you've been enjoying the new player series. The Dan run-through has been quite interesting. I've run into a little bit of an issue with the Dan series, and that is there is a lot to talk about in the early game that it takes me a hell of a long time to actually go through picking out the choice moments to edit it to where I want it to be, and basically trying to find the right balance of including the story that's happening and including my progress without literally just including everything. Yeah. Let's play Prime. Let's see where we are. Did I leave that modded in the correct direction? Yes, I did. Cool. I don't know if they're ever going to know how to fix that one. So let's go Exo Gokstars. Let's see how this fares against 16 of them and 4 Butchers. The Butchers are to get the initial stacks going. Steel Path, max everything I can there. Cool. I mean, that's just a nice amount of power, isn't it? That's just a nice amount of power. That is as high a level unit as you can bring into here. You will almost never be dealing with that level of tank in a standard mission. Even a Grenadier Battle Group looks nothing like that. A Grenadier Battle Group is just this group. And yeah, they just kind of perish. You can get Sanctum Simulacrum. It'll give a few extra levels, but it doesn't really matter. Those few extra levels are not going to make the difference. And for the sake of demonstrating, now let's do it. Yo, Silver, thank you very much for dropping your subscription over here. Welcome on in at tier 1. You got that lovely, lovely blue badge next to your name. Cheers for that. Speaking of the dance series, found it funny you purpley cuss out every time. Sorry, who? Dex Pro? I don't know who you're on about. Surprised D hasn't patched Gauss Immortality with Fax Deflection and Aegis. It's not Immortality. So that's why they haven't patched it. I know him? Don't know who you're on about. No one was missing. Are they on about Orders? They might be on about Orders, yeah. But Orders was in the video, so I don't know who they're on about. I definitely did not cut an entire character out of the videos to make a point of it and see how many people commented on it. Absolutely did not remove them. What kind of monster would do that? So, yeah, that whole 20 levels might make a difference. It didn't. It just didn't. Truth be told, I removed a couple of Otak's lines at the start because they just weren't contributing to the story. You know, it says Ordis shows up unvoiced. There are a couple times where Ordis was talking over me, so I muted him in, I would say, in the actual video edit. Either muted or seriously brought him down. I've done that in other places as well. If you pay attention going through, if I've done it correctly, you won't notice it every time. There'll be some conspicuous ones, like Ordis just pops up out of nowhere. I've turned that setting off, by the way. Got annoyed by it. But even during missions, if I've got something more important to say and the NPC's thing is just irrelevant at that moment, down goes the volume. But if I do it right, you won't notice it. They'll just be kind of talking, and you're able to listen to me more than the NPC. And it's because I specifically set it up so that you're focusing on me. Whereas if I want the NPC to be just as able to be focused on, when they start speaking, you'll have the full volume of them there. I'll also then tend to put captions for them. So if you see an NPC that's not captioned, evidently what they had to say at that point is just completely unimportant. Basic rule of thumb on that one. But with Otak, his first couple of lines basically just didn't matter. They were so throwaway, they were cheap comic relief. Which, fine, yeah, cheap comic relief, but they fill out the time, they break up the flow of the experience of a video more than anything else. And so I cut those out. And I figured, you know what? Maybe I can get away with just cutting out every single line he says during the entire quest. And sure enough, cutting out everything he said only removed one tiny detail. One detail that may make it feel a little bit weird. And that is opening up the vault when you can't interact with the crystals because you're not got operator yet. Otak is the one that pops up and says, "Oh, let me get that for you. Oh, it looks like you can't do that. Don't worry, I can zap it." I don't know why that's not Lloyd. I don't know why Lloyd expresses embarrassment as to how to understand the puzzle. But I'm making notes on all of that lot. I will be doing a video recap after the dance series finishes to go through all the sticking points I've encountered going through this as a new player. How can you kill acolytes fast? Bring a high power weapon and smack them in the face. If you're not sure on what a high power weapon is, it'll either be a Incarnon weapon dialed up decently, or a Kuva or Tenet weapon dialed to the nines. You don't remember the Once Await quest? Funny thing, I didn't remember it either. The only thing I remembered about the Once Await quest was because I was told about it by a couple people. I think it was speaking with Ray, for example, talking about some of the deeper lore of Warframe. And he's just offhand referencing Dr. Tengus. I'm like, who the fuck is Dr. Tengus? Because I don't think it comes up again in mainline story anywhere. Yeah. Any other fun weapon-specific Warframe builds such as Vault Inadam? Well, that's not really weapon-specific Warframe build, as far as I see it. Who's Dr. Tengus? A Guerrilla researcher who released the Infested. Is about the most information I have right now. Also, I keep reading his name as Tengus, as in Tengu plural, because of the ship in Evil Lion called the Tengu. Also, apparently the Radiation Wars voice line is very new to the game. It got recently added. I could have killed him with the glaive, but it seemed better to do that. He's the guy that made a Ghoul project with Vahek, fair enough. Wouldn't surprise me at the same time. It's just, yeah. How's the mod testing going? It's going alright. It's going alright. We're also getting massively off topic because that's always a fun thing about streams. Streams don't stay on topic. But yeah, galvanized steel basically comes down to about the same power in a normal mod setup. When you start bringing in external things, the answer is, okay, which external thing did you bring in? Mod the opposite. That's it. Wonder if it'll be relevant in the future? I'm fairly certain it'll be relevant in the future, based on what has been said in other places bringing up the radiation wars, because I've been following the comments in a few places talking about it. Been following those comments, and it seems like D are basically retconning in Warframe 1999 before it happens. As if to say that the Kalimo sequence already happened. And we kind of catch up to reality. So it'll be interesting to see what line they go down with that. And I will be suspending my disbelief because time travel storylines I always get very judgmental of. I will be honest. I get very judgmental of them. Slimmer, so I'm trying to understand priming, but I don't think my mech dog is doing what it should. I can't really give you any suggestions offhand on that. I don't know what your issue is with it, sorry. Now, with these other mods, Galvanized Steel has this big ol' combination of considerations. There is so much going on with Galvanized Steel in terms of where to place in the build because crits are our bread and butter. We care about them so much. Whereas these two mods get a paragraph each. Let's be real. Are you relying on status damage to hurt your enemies, and you want status chance? Galvanized Elementalist. Are you relying on status damage to kill your enemies, but not status chance? Melee Elementalist. Are you not using status damage to kill your enemies? Take the fucking mod off, dumb shit. Pretty simple stuff, really. Galvanized Reflex. Are you using initial combo to kill your enemies? Put it on. Are you not using initial combo to kill your enemies? Take it off. That's it. That's the entire consideration. If you would put Corrupt Charge on a build, you now put Galvanized Reflex on a build. That's it. The heavy attack efficiency is lower than Reflex Coil. So, if you need the heavy attack efficiency, you would be using Reflex Coil. I don't see a situation where you would look at the heavy attack efficiency and the initial combo together unless you're already looking at the initial combo. Because if you were looking at initial combo... if you look at heavy attack efficiency primarily, like you're going 12 times combo by normal meleeing, not counting the ceramic dagger, but valid choker digger. If you go in there normally, you wouldn't care about the initial combo. You just wouldn't. Could this glaive kill an acolyte fast? Probably. Probably. Let's find out, actually. Let's go find out. Leave Simulacrum, go to Officer. Let's go find a acolyte and see what they think about the glaive, shall we? Easiest way to test it. It took you 500 hours to notice the melee combo counter UI. 500 hours? Okay, if you said 50, I believe you. 500? Maybe you need to look at your screen from time to time. Just a general suggestion. I'm not going to equip anything onto Worm Prime in terms of weapon. We'll just have Worm Prime kind of there. Nataruk, sure. Kuvanukor, whatever. Who cares? Naramon, it's not even the correct one. Let's use it. Ladybug, the combo is not about the arcane. That is just how initial combo works. When you spend your combo, your initial combo then builds it back up for you. But here's the thing. If you use heavy attack efficiency, it climbs back up from a higher position. So instead of dropping down and then rising up, it drops down part way and rises up. So combo efficiency does make it where you get back to your maximum initial combo quicker. Am I able to equip Chessa every time you try it's bugged? Yep. Don't know what you're experiencing, but ain't what I'm experiencing. Alright, let's go Sedna, Steel Path, Solo, Survival. Watched the Bolter Incarnate video. Has the build changed since Jade Shadows? I can't remember the difference between that build and anything that's happened in updates since then. But the Bolter Incarnate still shredded faces, Galton. So it'll still shred faces. Wait, no, I remember. It's damage type changes, isn't it? Yeah. Instead of cold radiation, cold corrosive where you can. Or just basically any setup that isn't radiation. Radiation sucks now.
Life support has been cut off.
Can I enter the upgrade window after equip? Oh, you didn't mention that bit a moment ago on Chester, so you just said equip. So anyway, we started just, you know, killing. I'm not going to use Valence Formation until we've killed an Acolyte, because I want to see if we can just get the value from the weapon itself. Just checking, I haven't got... Nope, I haven't even got Arcane Avenger on at the moment. Yeah, I've got Arcane Consequence instead, that's good. That's cinematic, as well as not actually buffing up my damage. I mean, you can still use radiation, it just doesn't have any kind of armor bypass now. And its status effect still sucks, whereas almost every other status effect in the game has its place. Yeah, violence is annoying if you're not Lavos. Very true. If you're Lavos, you just commend him for trying. What elemental damage is the meta for it now? It depends on the target you're against, really, but like, heat viral is just a good staple of status output. You could also do electric viral if you got access to it. I forget what the innate element is on the Bolter Incarnate, sorry. What is the innate on the Bolter Incarnate? Hello, Lucky. Hello, Wonton. Welcome both in. You haven't figured out how to play Lavos? I mean, I do have guides on him, so if you want, you can check those out. That will probably help. I even took the life strike off of this just for the extra damage right now. Not that I need it, but, you know, sure, why not? It makes up for the enemies getting a hit point boost. In case anyone was wondering if the Glade Prime can still get kills, this should be around Celebrates. Just over 2 minutes in, 300 kills. Yeah, it's not as fast as Influence could be, I guess. We could do the same with Zorus in a moment, see what happens. Combined with Duplicate for those literally duplicated hits, it's kind of slapping. It do be slapping. Boltor is slash and incarnate? Okay. Well, in which case then, yeah, just slash viral, heat viral, cold corrosive, whichever best suits your situation. Because it's also a status monster. So if you need to slow down your target, cold. If you want to slow down your target and have AoE damage, cold gas. If you want to sunder their armor, cold corrosive. If you don't worry about slowing them, heat viral, slash viral, lean into what floats your goat there. Can you equip a pet while creating a genetic imprint of it? I don't think you can. I can't remember if that got changed, but it certainly didn't used to. It's been a while since I've taken an imprint. Is gas considered good now? Some people like it. I still find gas to be a bit finicky. It seems to be the kind of thing which kills when you would have killed with pretty much anything. The sole exception being if you use it with Lavos, because Lavos is a god. Also, it appears that life support stopped dropping. Was I staying in too small an area? I think I was staying in too small an area. Yeah. Not sure how that life support ended up all the way over there. Okay. Life support is now being handled, and we got an Acolyte inbound. Come on, Angst. Let's see what you got. Where are they? There they are. One tap. 2 seconds on the status proc, but still technically a one tap. No abilities, no companion buff, no Warframe Arcanes, literally nothing but Glaive Prime itself right there. One tap. So that answers that one. So now let's buff this up a bit. Let's start applying some gas. Because Lavos and gas is a match made in heaven.
When you need it, the extraction is ready.
No status procs on that guy. I did not hit that Xmas. There was no status procs on him. And that Xmas died. If I had hit him with the glaive, I would have had a status proc on him. Guaranteed. No way that could have missed. So he died entirely to the gas procs. Because Lavos loves gas procs. Lavos Valence Formation loves gas procs. Gotta be clear on what we're using here. And of course Lavos makes them last longer too. You have a problem with Steel Path, I make it look easy. I mean, I do have quite a few hours in the game. I'm using very heavily invested weapons and setups. I'm using the face tank of face tanks. Because let's face it, Lavos is tanky as fuck when it comes to being lazy about it. He puts even an Naros to shame. Partly helped by having a shield gate as well, so sometimes I just straight up tank hits for nothing. And then I've got damage for days as well. Use Corvix for lazy tanking. Another very tanky Warframe. Absolutely. Is it okay if you put Toxin on alternate melees? Go for it, absolutely. Just be aware of any of them that have an innate element as well. Toxin is a great option unless they have an innate element. If they do, check what it is. If it's Toxin, you're fine. If it's anything else, the Toxin choice might not be the right one. How does Corvix do compared to Lavos in terms of health tanking? Corvix can tank similarly. I will say that Lavos has a better overall job of it, because Lavos also gets the status immunity, which is a form of tanking. And Lavos has a healing ability, Corvix does not. So unless you are tanky through Arcane Grace, you can do this, and it's pretty easy to recast. Like, seriously, look how much I can cast that. It's kind of stupid how quickly you can cast it. Need any more healing? Let's keep healing. You know? Corvix can't do that. Because I say his immunity? Oh, true, yeah, he's got his status immunity ability, my bad, yeah. What's the cooldown on that? Depends on what your ability rotation is. The cooldown on that was pretty much casting speed. Anyone who complains about how quickly Lavos can cast might not have been paying attention to literally how quickly you can cast with him at times. You have to get the right setup, but yeah. What kind of player do I think Lavos is for? Someone who likes versatility and isn't afraid to put in a little bit of APM effort to get power out of him. He is not for people who want to be constantly spamming abilities. And he's not for people who want a frame that basically does the work for them. Instead, he gives me the freedom to do whichever playstyle I want to play. As you see, I've just kind of switched almost seamlessly from glaive to Natharuk to casting, and then back to Natharuk. Oh, we've got an Acolyte incoming. Let's use Electric and then fight the Acolyte. So, Malice is dead. Very nearly got an actual one-shot there, whilst catapulting myself across the entire room. Lavos just has a lot of features down pat. He even has 2 different ways to open up enemies for finishes. 2 different ways. You've got this. And you got this.
The longer you fight, the more successful we will be.
It's a very short-lived finisher opening, but it does open them for finishes. But yeah, Lavos is a frame of versatility which gives what you put into him. If you don't pay attention to his abilities, if you don't think about his cooldowns, if you don't try to health tank properly, then you're missing out. Like many frames, really. He gives what you give into him.
Very good.
You love Lavos, but you're bad at modding, so you keep dying with him. Adaptation, Umbral Set, or if you don't have that, at least their basic equivalents. Use his one for healing if you're not using Arcane Grace. If you're still dying, either in really, really, really high levels, or you might need to consider trying to control the enemies a bit. Because damage is a form of tank. They can't kill you if they're already dead. What element better to choose for Tenet Melee? Toxin or... No, Toxin is the one to pick, unless the innate element to the weapon would screw that up. Toxin is usually the one to pick. Straight up. This is a frame which can deal Toxin damage, cold, electric, heat innately. All the other types you can infuse into them as well. He does opens enemies to finishers. He has got self-heal. He has got control and mobility. He has got sustain, status immunity, team sustain as well, to an extent at least. And he has damage which can scale up the more you invest into it. It just kind of rocks. You see the glaive build? Absolutely. Absolutely. Not even using an Exilus mod so far on this one. What kind of Exilus would I want? It's not going to be a Tenekai because we're only using heavy attacks, so Tenekai just would not matter. It's the only thing I can think of will be Dispatch Overdrive. And I honestly don't feel I want to spend the resources just putting this mod in. Because I don't use glaive in a situation where I'd feel like I'd need this. If I need to move around the map, I have Arcane Consequence. Yeet! You saw that in action. And yeah, the orbits on Lavos are just amazing. So if you want to go full caster, Swift Bite. Brilliant. If you want to deal significant amounts of damage and to make both blast and gas absolutely sing, electric too of influence, this is just god tier. So you have an A tier and S tier orbit right here. It's incredible. And then top row is tank, range, and duration, and that's it. That's a build. Prime Shuffled because status immunity is not 100%. This makes it a lazy tank. Corrosive Projection is just kind of there, I'll be quite honest with you. And Arcane Consequence because yeet. Just yeet. It's brilliant. Tyken, thank you very much for the gifted sub going out to community there. That's gone over to Twilight Lombax. Thank you very much for that, Tyken. Much appreciated. Have I seen the Siam with the new melee mods? Okay. Do you mean the galvanized melee mods, or is there some other new I'm missing? And why the Siam specifically? How does Tenakai work with glaives? Same as anything else. You get basic hits, triggers the Tenakai. Your next heavy attack within the Tenakai window doesn't use your combo and happens theoretically faster. Emphasis on theoretically. Something to say, could we play together sometime? Could learn a lot. Most people learn a lot by watching my videos or streams. I will sometimes invite people in for the missions on stream as well. Most people sit back and watch until there is an invite. You like Arcane Ice Storm on here, on Lavos. Is that a Warframe one? Ice Storm, yes it is. On Frozen Enemy, gain strength and ability duration, up to 40% on both. Yeah, I mean, I see the value there. I see the value. It's not usually one I would go for, I'll be quite honest, but I absolutely see the value there. You would need to put out a lot of the cold procs, which sometimes isn't what you're looking for, but yeah, it's fine. Does Zoris require Tenakai? Zoris actively doesn't need it. Like every glaive. Actively doesn't need it. Because glaives, you're just constantly heavy attacking, so what's the point of Tenakai? You should be using initial combo instead. Let's switch over to the Zoris, and let's see how ridiculous it is if we go with all the upgrades. I'm probably... Oh, I might be able to fit 182 here, so let's go galvanized. Okay. So, if I swap that out, that's going to give me some space back, which I can then expend on this, but I'm still stuck here. So as a temporary fix, I can drop that and go for you. Temporary fix. Let's see how this feels first. Although, it's not enough anyway, yeah. Yeah, not enough. That gets us 10. I need one more for 11. God damn it. Ah well, this'll do. Let's just try it. Fire investing as well. I keep forgetting that mod exists. I will be honest with you. I 100% keep forgetting this exists. Do I still need electric? Off Lavos, it gives you a multiplier to the status damage. On Lavos, Valence Formation covers that, but I like to design them with the idea of other Warframes in mind, because so many people want just a single working build. They don't want to match an entire loadout. In fact, let's do a quick poll on this. Let's do a quick poll so I understand what we're dealing with here, and I know that a lot of people are not going to answer, but let's do a quick poll. Can you match my Lavos plus Zoris? Now this is a specific question. This is a very specific question. Can you match my Lavos and Zoris? I'm asking, do you have every single mod and arcane I'm using on my Lavos and Zoris, every single one fully ranked up like I have done the same? Not the former, not equal types of mods. Can you match the exact builds down to the arcanes? Have you got every mod, every pip, every arcane, all the way up? So this is the Zoris build, and this is the Lavos build. And I am very specific about those details. If you are missing a single pip on Umbral Fiber, you should be clicking no. If you are missing Prime Show footage because you haven't logged in enough, you should be clicking no. If you do not have a max rank Arcane Grace, you should be clicking no. All of it. Not the Arcanes, definitely not the Shards. Frankly, I didn't mention the Shards, but fair enough. Still trying to get adaptation to drop. Fair do. There we are then. 2/3 of you here, 2/3 of you cannot match these builds fully. Sure, some of you will be a pip or two away. Others of you will be quite a distance away. There are plenty of people who will be looking at the Zoris going, I mean, sure, it's great if it kills, but how the fuck am I supposed to afford all 4 of these 10 pip mods? Where do I get the endo for that? And my answer to that is play more. Yeah, just play more. No, but seriously, this is why I tend not to make full loadouts. I did coaching with someone for months on end who was looking for full-on loadouts, and let me tell you, every single loadout they came to me with before I started with them was enough to kill God. Every single one of them. After we discussed and walked through the builds, they walked away able to kill God twice. But how many times over do you need to kill God in this game? We're killing the Grenier. They ain't nothing. Oh, I got another fire to socket. Ta-da! Maybe donate maxed out mods to new players? Hell no, go play the game. The moment people start donating high value items like that to you, they take the game away from you. If you just want to play on creative mode, sure. Spend some money or find yourself a really generous vet who's given up. But I'm not going to do that for you. I will show you how you can beat the game. Then you have to actually still play the game. You never went past 1 million credits? I'm not even the richest by far. Yeah. Ladybug saying, reason I don't max out 10-pip mods isn't because of Endo or credits, because I don't want to form every damn build about it. And that's absolutely valid, yeah. That is absolutely valid. I have a downranked adaptation for basically the same reason. Adaptation at 8 pips rather than 10 gives me almost the same total value. Those 2 pips would make it last a little bit longer and make it get to that full power just a little bit quicker. But it also makes it where every build needs 1 or 2 pips more capacity. And when you run things tight to the line, that can matter. That can matter. Where this really, really stings is when it comes to low-level gameplay. And this is one of the things I'm going to be talking about once I complete the Dan series. I even brought it up in today's video. Dan obtained the Burston and could not use a single worthwhile mod on the Burston. Not one. I had to take that weapon into missions in an ineffectual state. And at this point it's still relatively effectual because it's still very low level, but otherwise an ineffectual state because I couldn't fit anything onto it. When it comes to mid-game-ish, early to mid-game, when you start getting weapons like the Foreman coming online, MR8, this comes with no polarities on it, which means you would have 8 capacity. 8. If your serration is a 10 drain at that point, or even just a 9 drain, you're not going to put it on. 8 capacity allows you an elemental mod with 2 pips on it. That's just not enough of an upgrade. And so you end up using weapons... Well, you end up not using weapons until the game finally allows you to use them again. What do? Do you take it to a low-level mission and farm up on very low-level enemies? Or do you go to Elite Sanctuary Onslaught and get someone to level it for you? Feels a bit off. I'll be quite honest. Feels a bit off. I've also said mod slots should be maxed out when you reach ML 20, not 30. That's an entire overhaul. There's a simpler one. There is a much simpler one, and I previously thought it unnecessary or overindulgent, but no, I see the value in it. You know how we can, right here in the arsenal, just, let me find it, not for the right one. We can right click to upgrade it. Imagine if at the same time we could also depower. Not to melt it down, but to just plug in a few less batteries for that build. So if, say, I could only make this build work if adaptation was 8 pips rather than 10, I would hold right click, not to take it off, but to take it down 2 pips. Just that. And that one little change would allow someone who's got a brand new weapon or a recently formed weapon or warframe to put in their existing mods either at their minimum rank or just whatever rank they can fit, rather than having to entirely reinvest into a new mod. Because this is how many times I've invested into Serration. I have a max rank Serration and then 2 pips down, which would be 1 saved on a forward slot, and then for some reason I have a 5 pip and a 2 pip. Now, Hive Historian is pointing out why D might not want to do that. And I don't think Hive Historian wanted to point it out this way. Hive Historian saying, that would be amazing to prevent farming duplicates of rare mods. And it seems to me that may be a possibility for why we do not have that option. It could be just a matter of coding things, it could be. But it also seems to be something that adds a little bit of velocity to the market, as it were. You don't get why to use Amalgam Serration, because it gives you sprint speed. I don't know what else to tell you, dude. If you look at this mod and you don't understand what it does from there, I really don't know what to tell you. If you don't value sprint speed, fair enough. Some people do. Some people do. You merged accounts, you have 2 full Serrations and 2 with 2 pips. I mean, you've got some you can meld down there for some endo. Does it matter if you bullet jump all the time? If you bullet jump literally all the time, then sure, no, it doesn't matter. But not everyone bullet jumps all the time. Some people like to run. Some people like to sprint. And as it so happens, that can allow for some pretty nifty builds. Some people find it easier to run and gun than to bullet jump and gun. Yeah. You're wondering if you're missing something? Okay. I mean, that would be the way to reframe your question from the start then. And this probably would help you find the answer you're looking for. Because you entered it with, I don't get why use Amalgam Serration. When the Y is played as day on the mod, it's sprint speed buff. It's okay. It's just find the question you need to ask, and then you'll get the answer you're looking for. Otherwise, the answer is sprint speed. It says on the mod. The follow-up answer to that is some people value sprinting. Very true, Silver. Yep. People who are not well in tune with the bullet jumps can bullet jump into inappropriate locations. Frames like Volt want the sprint speed. I think Wukong utilizes sprint speed with Cloudwalker. I might be incorrect on that, but I think he does.
Just shut down all systems. I'm sending life support capsules.
So there are frames which also lean into sprint speed. Alright. Time to blow up everything. Yeah, Zora's strong, who knew? Zora's strong, who knew? Pretty much everyone at this point, but still. That guy's persistent. There we go. Should a person invest in Lavos right now when there might be a Lavos Prime coming in a few months? I mean, it depends on just how bad you are at farming Former. Because you can make a non-Umbral Lavos with ordinary Former and get the same value out of him. Near enough that I get. So it really just depends. How bad are you at farming Former? Poor man's Glaive? Honestly, this is more powerful than Glaive Prime. Especially with the armor changes. The armor is capped at 90% damage reduction. This is well more powerful than Glaive Prime. Glaive Prime wishes it could do this. 1.5 minutes in, 300 kills. I'm getting about 200 kpm. You've reached limits of how quickly the enemies can spawn and get to you. To call this a melee weapon is an insult to any kind of weapon classification in the world. This isn't a melee weapon anymore. This is just a thrown nuke. I'm just chucking out bombs and pressing the melee input to do it. The only thing melee in this entire mission is butchers. Have I seen the Elemental Ward Lavos nuke video? I think it's very interesting. I have not. I don't watch other creators' videos. I've heard of people talking about Elemental Ward doing some silly things in silly places at times, but I'm not familiar with the mechanics. Yeah, this weapon is hilariously destructive. That was his 1.15 sprint speed, honestly. Couldn't have told you that. Not a stat I focused on for him. But nice to know he is more mobile than your average frame. I wonder if they'll give his prime even more. Do you hate the stealth dagger from Glaive Explosion? Oh. If I could throw it correctly, I might find out. Something about a prime sure-footed Lavos makes me feel like I never have to worry about this. But seriously, status immunity is your friend right there. Prime sure-footed does it here, but so does status immunity. So Rhino, Nezha, Lavos when he's got his passive active, that sort of thing. This is Zora's Steel Path? Yup, this is Steel Path. I'm not even using abilities. I'm literally just running and throwing a frisbee. I'm just playing Tron on easy mode. Except the mission is hard mode. Hi, Torment! Oh, you want to go invulnerable? Okay. I'm just going to go focus on something else now. Oh, okay. Torment decided to cleanse himself of status. I'd call it cheating, but then I am literally status immune most of this mission, so what do I get to say? Spending less time on your bum is a huge DPS increase? Pretty much. Pretty much. That's why gamers at standing desks are just overpowered.
When you are ready, go to extraction.
5 minutes, 810 kills, and I was dicking around a little bit. Yeah, suffice to say, we're at godly power. And that's entirely against armoured units. For other factions, they're not armoured, more damage. That was entirely without using Warframe abilities.
Fought well.
You can add in Wrathful Advance. You could add in Roar. You could add in Valence Formation. You could add in literally anything you damn well please. Is there any build that makes a glaive with a bouncing build as effective as this? No. I might be wrong on that, but I'm fairly confident I can say just no. And there are a few reasons for that. Heavy attack builds get the heavy attack multiplier, and they have higher base damage before even having the heavy attack multiplier. The heavy attack builds have typically a better range to them. The heavy attack builds will often have guaranteed procs on them. And I can't remember, but I feel like normal throws, do they ever fall off to them? Can't remember if they do. Not sure if they do. And this is using Gladiator Might here. Probably fine as is. Actually, yeah. Trying to remember, was there a mod I could use in its place I was thinking about? Oh wait, yeah, I've not got the volatile in it, right? Oh yeah. So I could increase the blast radius of that. I was running this with 3 less blast radius. Granted, it'll go from 9 to 12 at the cost of that crit damage. But considering galvanized steel is now giving us twice the crit damage bonus Gladiator Might was giving, maybe that's worthwhile. If you wanted to go for bounce build, you'd want to use something Volatile Rebound. Can you replace Voltaic Strike with Volatile Quick Return on Zoris build? Oh yeah. It's just, if you're not using Lavos, this is giving you a 60% damage increase on your electric status effects. The reason I'm using that one is because I didn't have the capacity at the time to use the electric 90% mod, which would be even better there. Because that'll give you 90% damage bonus. But yeah, I think for the heavy attack approach, that's better now, because we got this. Yeah. I honestly don't think the Zoris could give us much in the way of a bounce build that'd be worthwhile. If you go for a bounce build, you can build up to 12 times combo, so you can lean into Blood Rush for your crit chance. But there's just going to be limits. There are just going to be limits. Meldry saying, I'm not quite sure how Quick Return interacts with the heavy attack explosion. Do you need to hit the boom button before it touches an enemy? You can hit it as it touches an enemy. You'll always know if you got it right because you'll see the actual boom effect happen. So you can wait for it to hit. That's actually what I use as my timing. I see the damage number from it hitting an enemy, and that's when I explode it. That is when I do it. So if we just grab this group here, they'll be like, throw. I'm out of range. Like so. Up the dead. Yeah. Once you get used to it, you'll know intuitively just when to hit the explosion. But you can absolutely wait for the damage hit and then pop it. It's just the more you play, the more you'll get the muscle memory. Do I think Zachary will get nerfed when the Prime comes out? Do you think he will get nerfed? Is Zachary on the docket for a nerf? What makes you think of it? Why would you use Galvanized Steel over Umbral? Crit damage. Crit damage. So, crit chance can be obtained from a variety of sources, including have gladiator mods on your frame. You can have crit chance from Arcane Avenger, from Adaza Kavat, from Smeeta Kavat even, although that's a full override. You can have crit chance from Wrathful Advance, whereas crit damage is usually harder to get. Critical damage, we've got Organ Shatter, we've got Gladiator Might, we've got Galvanized Steel. There are also the Crimson and Violet Archon Shards. If you have loads of those on a frame, then that swings it the other way around. That swings it the entire other way around. At that point, you want to consider more crit chance because you're stacking so much crit damage. Excuse me. But that's pretty much the only case otherwise. Usually if you're using Sacrificial Steel, you want to use Sacrificial Pressure with it, because they'll both buff each other up. This means then you're using up to 32 drain without Umbral Former, or having to spend Umbral Former to get the full power. Whereas Prime Pressure Point, Galvanized Steel, to normal Former to slot them in. And without Former, they're still only, what's that, 12 and 14, 26 drain versus 32. So they're cheaper to put in place. They are not going to require Umbral Former at any time in the build whatsoever. They work better unless you have external critical damage sources. And they work even better if you have critical chance sources. Plus a little bit more pure melee damage bonus. So yeah. That's why people would look to use it there. And the rest of it comes down to, hey, I'm using status damage and status chance matters to me. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me on this one, I'll be quite honest. It really doesn't actually matter, and I think the better mod here, if I'm quite honest, is this one. On Glaive Prime, it's different because I've got the Toxin mod on there, so having the Toxin chance allows me to get more benefit from that. But this, we want just the forced electric procs, so we don't care. We don't care about the status chance, and instead we can have the wind-up speed and more status damage. This one's a direct upgrade. The basic is better. Galvanized Reflex is just Galvanized Reflex. Initial combo for the win. As I said earlier on stream, if you're using a build which relies on heavy attack efficiency but not initial combo, this is no improvement. You would want to use Reflex Coil or some other form of heavy attack efficiency. The initial combo this is giving you is not a benefit. But if you expect to run out of combo, if you are heavy attacking without heavy attack efficiency normally and therefore using initial combo, this is just the mod to use. It's a bit of a weird one in that regard, that both Galvanized Elementalist and Galvanized Reflex, you use them for their secondary effect more than the primary. Actually, all three of them, now I think about it. All three of them are just focusing on their secondary effect and then benefiting from the primary effect as well. Which I guess kind of makes sense. It's a little bit more pronounced than with the guns. Because when it comes to guns, hey, do you want multi-shot? How about more multi-shot? There's no decision making. This is supposed to be the damage one. The status chance is kind of shoehorned in. People care so much more about damage. Is it not all galvanized? It's really not. The crits one is if you are focused on crit headshots, but it's also caused by crit headshots, so again, it's just a direct upgrade. And then the shotgun one, if I go like Arcaplasmor. Hey, did you want extra range? Well, now you get even more range. So it's only the damage ones and the melee ones where the secondary and primary effects are somewhat divorced. Yeah, and for the second effect, not the main one, you have them for both. In most cases, you have them for both, because in most cases, they're one and the same. You get multi-shot and you get more multi-shot. It's the same bonus, it just gets higher. As opposed to a different bonus from the primary effect. That's what's curious about it to me there. The different things. What did I just take off? Let's go bursting for a bit. There you are. I think there's not really much more to talk about these mods. I've been looking at them and I've been running it through my head over and over and over. I'm like, what am I missing? Galvanized steel is a very complicated one that comes down to relatively simple answers. But galvanized reflex... I'm also saying, what I mean, if the second effect does not matter for you, the galvanized doesn't matter. And what I'm saying, Sam Olsen, to say it back to you again, is that on most of the galvanized mods, the secondary effect is the same effect as the primary effect. Therefore, if you're using one, you're using the other. There is no intermediary situation. If you want the multi-shot, you get the multi-shot. And it comes with more multi-shot. You don't look at the secondary effect and go, oh, well, I don't want more multi-shot, so I guess I should use the basic multi-shot mod. You realise how that makes absolutely no sense as a sentence. Whereas the melee ones, all of them, the secondary effect is a different stat. Is viral still meta? Kinda yeah. Kinda yeah. That ain't changing. I get what you're saying, Smolson, that they all have a secondary effect, and if you can't get to the secondary effect, then you wouldn't use the galvanized mod. But that only refers to non-killing weapons, or non-direct damage weapons in the case of the crit ones. The melees are very specific in that all of them have different stats on their secondary effect. Alright. Is there anything I'm missing with Galvanized Reflex? Out of all of them, this is the one that I feel like I must be missing something. So Molson, I feel like you've decided to split hairs where the split ends up on your side rather than hearing what I'm discussing. So I'm going to leave you there now, dude. I was just saying, are there pure single target missions where you can't get on-kill effects at all? Assassinations, pretty much. Specific assassinations. What do I use the blue shard on Lavos for? To get him over the 2000 armor mark. Not because it's meta or particularly good, but because I like seeing over 2000 armor. That's all I use it for. Is heavy attack efficiency. The only use for heavy attack efficiency is in heavy attack builds where you're not Tenokaiing, where you build combo, or have a lot of initial combo. If you're going to have a lot of initial combo, you're going to use this mod anyway because you want a lot of initial combo. It's self-serving. Don't forget Shocking Touch. Right, yes. Very correct. Yes, because we've got the space for it now with that change. If you're building combo through non-initial combo means, having initial combo doesn't help you because you've already built your combo. So this is really just an initial combo mod, which just makes it easier to use the initial combo because it doesn't take as long to get back. That's all I can see in it. Am I missing anything on this one? Am I missing anything on this? For all the rest of what's going on, this one's clear as day. This one's mess is clear as day. I don't know, it's just because I don't really use heavy attack efficiency builds, it feels like I'm missing something. Just better corrupt charge, that's what I'm seeing, yeah. Efficiency effectively lowers how long, that's what I said, yeah. It's a very good initial combo mod. It is, absolutely, don't get me wrong on that. I'm not saying it's a bad mod, I'm saying that there's nothing more to it. It is just, would you have slotted corrupt charge? Slot this instead. Job done. Sorry, Assassin, you don't appear to have a full point for me to address there. Could you let me know more? Because I don't think there is anything more going on with this. The primary stat makes the secondary more convenient, but if you use it for the primary stat, the secondary stat is useless. It's a one-way assistance, which is not wrong, it just feels weird. Is there any point in running Corrupt Charge and Galvanized Reflex together? Good question. I would say probably no. With Galvanized Reflex alone, you get plus 20 initial combo on 4 stacks, which will bring you all the way up to a 5 times combo multiplier, because you get 1 times at the start. If you're a 5 times combo multiplier, you can increase that to 6 times with Corrupt Charge, assuming you've got no other source of initial combo. That is a 20% damage increase. To run a mod slot, a whole mod slot for just 20% damage, feels a bit shit. Killing Blow, for example, adding to Pressure Point, is a lot more than 20% overall increase. Shocking Touch is adding a lot more than 20%. It's our only elemental mod on here. This is increasing our blast radius from 9 meters to 12 meters. That itself is a 33% radius increase, which is a 77% area increase. So yeah, I don't see where Corrupt Charge could fit in. Unless all we were trying to do was to immediately hit the combo to set off a, what do you call it? An Incarnate transformation. That's the only use case I can see, is to get that Incarnate transformation level. Radius is quality of life? No, it's AoE clearance speed. You hit more enemies, you get more damage. You need kills, which means hits anyway. I'm not sure I understand what you mean there, Solomir. If someone's spamming heavy attacks, they're not getting kills with basic attacks to build combo with. Range the best damage stat in Warframe? Don't know about best, but it does a lot of work. It's a damage multiplier. You're both on Ceramic Dagger for secondary outburst shenanigans. I mean, that's a specific case of using your melee as a stat stick. Which, valid, but it is a stat stick. Assassin says, since it takes time to regen combo after a heavy attack, having 90% instead of 50% efficiency allows external attack speed buffs to fully utilize initial combo better. So, okay, Assassin, what you've described there is just heavy efficiency. What about what you've just described makes me pick this mod instead of this mod? 60%, 50%. If you're getting yourself to that 12 times combo, and then keeping yourself there, or near enough there, with 90% heavy attack efficiency, why do you need your initial combo? My face in front of it? Your face in front of it. Yeah, my bad. I literally moved it out in front of my face, behind my face, didn't I? 50% versus 60%. If you're in a situation where you are constantly concerned about heavy attack efficiency, then you are constantly above the initial combo threshold, so the initial combo hasn't helped you. Sure, you could say, well, you can get back to the combo quicker, or get up to the combo quicker, except you don't even start with the initial combo, you need to get the kills first, which you can just build up the combo. So it seems like a kind of a moot point to me. Yeah.
It's my B-Day, I'm hyped, and I'm just going through my followed channels. Sorry for the sudden message.
Hey, no worry whatsoever on that. Happy birthday, Dogma. Happy birthday, and thank you very much for dropping the 100 bits over here. Much appreciate you sharing that on your birthday. Cheers. How do you make your operator do more damage? You use the correct amp and arcanes. Pretty much. Eternal Onslaught on energy depleted gives me a load of crit chance. Virtuous Strike on critical hit, get a load of critical damage. These are the ones I use. They're as simple as they can be. They do a lot of work. Mirrorlave, thank you very much for the gifted sub over to Dogma there. Much appreciated. There you are, Dogma. Have another happy birthday gift. Cheers to that, Mirrorlave. These two are pretty good staples when it comes to operator crit chance, crit damage. Use it with a high crit amp like the 777 and you're off to a good one. Like using Eradicate over Strike. Oh, here we go. Someone's like, you could be using something ever so slightly better. That's pure damage, whereas this is critical damage. So, what makes this one better? Just to be clear, Coffin, what makes it better? Bearing in mind that my primary fire here has a 2.4 times multiplier, 58% crit chance. Said crit chance will be massively increased. How to know what amp is the right one? Step 1, watch my amp guide. Step 2, if you can't be bothered to do that, 777. Step 3, if you don't know what 777 is, refer to Step 1, watch my amp guide. It's really as simple as that. When it comes to whole-ass weapons or mechanics, at this point, I have got you guides to the vast majority of mechanics. And the answer to how does this mechanic work is the guide. I got you covered there. But yeah, Eradicate over Strike, I don't see a good enough benefit there to switch out to it. Because I'm boosting up the critical chance, and even without the boosted critical chance, just the sheer crit damage bonus makes it absolutely worth it. Especially, I think it still gets the triple damage on headshot. Sorry, the crit damage on headshot, crit damage bonus, critical headshot bonus. You know what I mean.
You are a true hunter. Where would the sanctuary be without you?
You consider 777 overhyped? Fair enough. Overhyped compared to what, Dogma? Overhyped compared to what? Considering that you need to do the Fortuna grind to get any of the 7 parts? Overhyped compared to what? 1, 2, 3? Assassin's saying, okay, here we go. Assassin's saying, the situation is, I want to spam heavy attacks, but initial combo doesn't regen fast enough after a heavy attack with just 50% efficiency. I'm going to do a heavy attack with a combo multiplier of 4 instead of 5. I could be wrong. You are wrong, Assassin, because you're answering the wrong question. You're answering the wrong question. What you've answered there is, I have a situation where I'm using initial combo. At that point, you've already misunderstood. Because I've already said Galvanized Reflex is the correct mod when you're on an initial combo build. There is no question about that. It gives you so much initial combo compared to anything else in the game, at least in terms of a all melee mod, that it's just the correct one. All you are doing is re-justifying that same mod being there. Which is just pointless. It's like someone who's coming from a thirsty desert, enjoying themselves a glass of water, and you say to them, oh, did you know water also has no sugar in it? They're like, okay, cool, good to know, but I'm drinking the water because I'm thirsty. You've not added something there. The important question I was asking is, what value does the heavy attack efficiency provide in itself to go with the initial combo? Rather than the other way around. You never said Galvanized Reflex was the wrong mod. You're referring to Shocking Touch being a possible downgrade to Focus Edge. Oh, great. You've been having an entirely different conversation of your own then. Fucking Christ. When did you give me this context? Maybe replace voltaic strike for electric slash efficiency mod. More heavy attack efficiency. Okay, so I missed the very first message. Or just it was in the middle of other things being said. Then you put just more heavy attack efficiency as its own message. Then you explained how heavy attack efficiency works. With a question mark on the end. And then we're here. Yeah, that's exactly why I got confused what you were talking about. You had yourself a new conversation topic, and I did not catch it. Fair enough. 598 there. 3595. Yep, it's getting the crit bonus from headshots. Cool. So in terms of using the heavy attack efficiency mod for electric and efficiency, let's have a think about that. So you're suggesting dropping from 90% to 60% electric, so we're losing 1/3 of our electric bonus there, bringing us down to 84% of the damage output in terms of electric multiplier, in order to maintain our heavy attack efficiency a little bit better, and therefore our initial combo recharge rate. Okay. Let's see what happens if I use it as is, and then if there's a benefit. Let's do a quick comparison.
You are a true hunter. Where would the sanctuary be without...
Silver saying, regarding using Ceramic Dagger for Gara, besides the initial combo, we also give it a crit chance. As crit is a multiplier, would it make sense to make it a crit build instead of the traditional elemental raw build? Yes. Didn't I cover that in the statistic guide recently? I think I did. Double check my statistic guide, yeah. That's why we're here, Artigosi. That's why we're here. Let's grab some butchers. And then things that don't die as quickly, hopefully. Maybe. I'm going to take off the influence, otherwise everything will just evaporate. For testing's sake. Yeah, we are throwing it so quickly that it's not getting to the full whack. Yeah. We are able to pretty easily maintain it below pace. So now if we do it this way around, and now I'm maintaining 5 times. Yep. So yeah, that is absolutely a swap right there. Assassin, you're absolutely on point. Definitely help with the context when communicating through a text chat full of nearly 200 people. But when it comes to modding, you're absolutely right. That one is a better pickup. Whether efficiency built in, that'll probably be why. Calevo plus reflex will be hitting the cap, I believe. Oh yeah, easily. Easily. 75% built in, yeah. You'll hit the cap. So for non-Calevo, focus energy is a good pickup. Didn't you used to have heavy attack efficiency from... I think it used to be from Zenrik. They got rid of that, didn't they? Showing my age on that one. Yeah. Is Calevo that overpowered? Oh boy. One sec. Is Calevo that overpowered? And what Clever build am I on at the moment? Hello, can I go back into the arsenal? Apparently not. My arsenal's closed. I'm not overpowered. There we go. Don't know what the fuck that was. You know what, can't be bothered, let's just use this one. Alrighty. Clevo, are you that overpowered? What do you think? Can I jump? Hello? Jump? Space is working. Okay, yep, well, game broke. Clever too strong. No 3 needed 2. Not when you're using an AoE like that. Does Amalgam Furex body count fire rate buff apply to Titania's Dex Pixia? I can't remember. I don't think it does, just because she has her own melee that should override, but you know what? Let's find out. Let's find out. I've checked this before and I've forgotten. I have an empty build. I hate not having an empty build to check things with. There we are. And this will be sufficient for testing. He'll be fine. Can I show mods again for Kalervo? Exclamation mark Kalervo.
The multitude of creatures you have immortalized.
Exclamation mark Kalervo. And ignore the person who gives you a single word as if that gives you a build to work with. There's a reason I do build guides that last more than 5 seconds. You can't just go, oh, you want to build Kalervo? Strength! That's somebody clearly looking for a little bit more help than that. Okay. Out. Okie dokie. Getting an idea for the speed of it. And then you. Amalgam, Furex, body count. That doesn't feel any faster to me. That does not feel any faster to me. And just to confirm that it is working, let's grab a separate secondary weapon with a visible fire rate. Cool. Versus... Not feeling a difference. Might be a simulacrum bug. Don't want to over hard test these things. Wouldn't it be nice if the game just showed you this info? The Kalervo demonstration was a little misleading, says Musels, as Zoris still one-shots max-level Steel Path Gokstad officers. Are they still the tankiest effective hit point enemies in Simulacrum? They're about as strong as you're going to get, and they don't just straight up one-shot everything. And it was more a demonstration of, hey look, Kalervo go burr. But sure. If you would like to do a better demonstration, you are welcome to run your own stream. I feel like I communicated sufficiently that, hey, look at this, he teleports and gets crits, was sufficient. That's without influence? No, it was with influence, I put it on. I appreciate the attempted defense, but you're incorrect. Maybe I just need to use a different weapon for this check. Kikoki? Wait. Son of a gun, I'm getting fire rate bonus from the companion. No wonder it's throwing things off. Cool. Now, Furax on. Definitely buffing us. Okay, cool. Now we know it's definitely working. We can hear the tempo. Have an idea of it. No improvement. Okay. Amalgam Furax body count does not seem to have an effect on Titania. It does not seem to have an effect. Isn't there a hidden fire rate cap? Yes, no, maybe, don't know. Come back when game developers stop tying things to FPS. I'll be quite honest with you. That is a thing which you could explore and I will not crack my head open over. If there is a fire rate limit, it's too high for me to care. Just pointing out with Azorius, one-shotting means nothing. Funny red crits are funny though. I mean, sure. I'm not going to try and challenge you on that. If you feel like Kalevo should be redemonstrated, like I say, you can run your own stream. I'm beyond caring. The point is, Kalevo strong, gives crits, red crits go burr, things die. A new player to Kalevo does not need to understand more than that. It's what he does. Ask Gearbox and Risk of Rain, they rewrote the entire code, made the effect inherent to almost everything. Ew. Tying things to FPS in terms of fire rates and whatnot, just absolute misery right there. That way madness lies. That way madness truly, truly lies. Makes any Kalevo makes any melee AoE by linking them as well. Makes any weapon AoE. Don't forget, Smolson. Makes any weapon AoE. Unless I am grossly misremembering him. I can just pop us down here.
You are a true hunter. Where would the sanctuary be without...
Yeah, Semi. Simpy. Come on now. Alright then, so a whole bunch of enemies, whole bunch of peeps that can get linked up. Linky linky. Yeah. It just struck all of them. Oh, I gotta reload. No! There we go. Any particular reason to prefer this arena over the others? Layout is better. It's straight there, they're all nicely lined up. It's a flat arena, they're not on random positions all over the shop, and these tiles are 4 meter by 4 meter. Which means that the enemies are spaced evenly at 4 meters by 4 meters crosswards. I think it's about 3 meters forwards. So it's a very usable room. It is a very efficient room. That's why I need it to be. It's practical. Can anyone blame me for wanting something practical, damn it? Oops, didn't reach these ones properly. My bad. So yeah, Clever turns everything AoE if you want it to. Ballroom didn't get level increase? Correct. So, Mastery Legendary 3, you get to max level 195 rather than 220. Big whoop to frickin' doodah. If it's good at 195, it's good at 220. If it's good at 220, it's good at 250, and so on. There isn't that big a level scaling at the levels that matter, and if you're facing levels well beyond level 220, you're also well behind level 195. That little 25 difference is a token effect. Do not let it distract you from the real effectiveness of your weapons. The difference between level 40 and 65? Massive. Between level 10 and 35? Massive. 195 and 220? It really doesn't matter that much. At most, the difference will be between out and out one shot and 99% kill on weapons that just somehow hit that threshold. You will get more variance than that in just whether you roll the right crit or not. So it doesn't matter. Yo!
Hey.
Anime Chris, hey to you as well. Thank you very much for dropping by with your Prime up onto 3 months. You got that lovely, lovely silver badge next to your name. Cheers for sharing that here. Hope you're doing yourself a good day. Doing yourself. What the fuck was that? Hope you're having yourself a good day. If you're doing yourself a good day, I don't even know what that entails, and I probably don't want to know. But all the same, you good, be happy. Yes, words. Kenjineer having a stroke. Oh dear. I've been over this. I don't think there's anything more to identify with these mods. Yeah, there is really nothing more to discover with them at this point in time. Which is, in a way, good. They're just mods. They're not whole-ass weapons or warframes. They're not supposed to be the most convoluted thing in the world. Samolson, thank you very much for subscribing at Tier 1. Welcome in with that lovely blue badge next to your name. And no more ads for you. Cheers on that. And cheers to Hydrate, Mirrorlay. I think we have reached the extent of what those mods are going to offer to us, and that's fine. They are, thankfully, absolutely not galvanized goddamn aptitude. Because if DE make another mod like galvanized goddamn aptitude, I might actually just have to book a flight, head on over there, fish in hand, and just... I might need 2 fish. They've got a lot of employees. Point is, fish slap. Things will happen in London, Ontario. Things do tend to happen in places. This is true. It's also say, love how you make your guide, so this is my way of saying thanks. Well, I much appreciate it. Thank you very much for that. Canada, right? Can probably get a very large fish on the way there. Most people, when they're going between the continents, tend to fly. I'm not quite sure how you see that working. Like, you can't just reach out of the airplane window and scoop up a fish on the way. You know, it's a little bit of a drop, and people complain about the draft. Not great. Make a weapon scale multiplicative with gun CO, problem solved. I mean, the problem of enemies having hit points remaining would be solved. You're not wrong there. What happened to being like pet condition overload? This is your first ever message in the channel, and you decide to drop that. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. The fish fly in London, Ontario? It's like the Cambion Drift. Huh. And he was me thinking I was just a really excited tourist. The more you know. Didn't I used to have this at 10,000? Evidently I just need to farm more. I've only got 38,000 endo in that mod stack. Just not good enough. You mean a market in town? No need to bother bringing a dead fish through customs. What about a live fish, though? Customs might, you know, find that fun and curious. Or maybe detain the fish for 2 months and cause problems. Either or, you know. Who doesn't want to just buy a second seat on a plane for their fish tank? Don't know if Ken would want to stop in Hudson, New York, but there are sturgeon in the Hudson River. I'm trying to process how you got there, of all things. Just... No. What if the fish hides a knife when on the plane? As it so happens, I don't think I've ever owned a pet fish that had a knife. This might come as a shock, I know. But none of my fish ever had a knife. Not one. Some of them had a mean look. You know, they could shoot daggers in a metaphorical sense. But beyond the Shakespearean existence that these fish managed to somehow exude, there's no explanation as to how one could become so thoroughly terrified of a basic fish to believe it has a knife. Not gonna happen. Fish should have a little knife as a treat. Yeah, no, keep your shower thoughts in the shower, please. What about a crossbow? Ever had a pet fish with a crossbow? As it so happens, no. Swordfish? Okay, I have never kept a pet swordfish, seriously. Did you even think that one through? You didn't even spell it correctly. What's a swordfish? Don't tell me that's a Swedish spelling, I'm not buying it. Swordfish and hammerhead shark. Fish are scary. Honestly, it just sounds like they're trying to, you know, do a little bit of masonry. Maybe don't give them such a hard time. Turns out the blue whale isn't blue, it's just depressed. Because everyone's having a go at it.
Excellent work, Tenno.
Dear
This
God.
will help our cause.
Dad jokes are bad jokes.
Okay, apparently we've all been told. Dad jokes and bad jokes with a smiley face on the end of it. Thank you very much there, anonymous hater, I guess, for the £10 tip. Cheers. Cheers on that. It's just dyslexia doing it work. It work indeed. Doing it work indeed. So if you're going to throw out the dyslexia, but I can still keep the bits up. Right. I don't know why I've come back here. There's nothing I need to build. I built everything that matters here. Look at all that stuff. And all these excess blueprints in here. This is kind of stupid just how much is in here. Just random Quartak blueprint down here. Okay, back and morphing topic. Has there been a rework in the past year or two that was a miss? Radiation sucks. There you are. Radiation sucks. There you go. Yep, that one will cover it pretty handily right there. Radiation just sucks. Alright. I had managed to get the void traces up previously. Yes, so that is all sorted. I have the standing gained. Yep, standing is done on that side. Open worlds. Are they maxed out? Ah. With it around the corner. Let's get those up. Let's get that open world standing sorted. Alright. I want to switch frame. We are going to need... Oh, not companion. I mean, companion can help us. Squip Eevee, because why not? Now we switch frame. Equinox, there she is. It's a leap. Beautiful. So impatient, I jump on the door as it opens. Not even touching the ground. Still not touching the ground. Completely pointless to do that. I did it. What? How did I miss them? Where are they? Darn it. Darn it, that's stupid. I had to screw that up somehow. Ed Master Flash, thank you very much for subscribing at Tier 1. Welcome on into the channel. Welcome on in. And enjoy your lovely blue sub badge, your lack of ads, and all the other bits and pieces that come with that. Cheers. There we go. Perfect capture, perfect capture. Bombs going off around me. Only a good one? Nope, also perfect somehow. Okay. Smalls is saying, I know you normally don't talk a lot about a thing not out yet, but what do you think in the Trinity on what we learned last dev? I'm going to wait for the full release details, I'll be quite honest. I'm just going to wait for full release on that, because D are very prone to not knowing exactly what they're going to release until the week after they released it. It's a thing. What's this thing where I'm only getting one of the birds? Where'd the other one go? Am I? Oh, I'm still on Steel Path. Hi, yeah, gravity? Can I have a word? What is that? Yeah, let's get off the Steel Path here. That's not going to help me out. Don't get anything extra for it here. Does radiation have a use other than being good against Archons? It's got a mild crowd control effect, so it can be good for getting enemies off your back, but that's its biggest use really. Also more damage against Murmur, but you use electric there anyway. You don't really understand the new infested Kuva weapons. Are they upgrades to the originals, or are these separate new weapons? I don't think that's been made clear to us. I'd imagine they're going to be full-on new weapons, but I don't know if that's been made fully clear. So we'll see. No, wait. They said there are a couple which were brand new, so they have to be brand new weapons, yeah. Right? They have to be brand new. Okay, this time let's do that correctly. There we go, normal mode. Now I won't get obliterated while trying to get some standing. Headmaster Flash saying, thank you sir, and your hard work, you have an abundance of patience. Ooh, I don't know about that. But I'm glad you see it that way. Thank you very much for dropping with your sub all the same. Wait, I lost him. There they are. Shit, wrong ability. Ta-da! 2,400 standing, don't mind if I do.
They've learned not to scavenge Guinea camps, but fisher folk still take potshots at them.
We got a single popper over here. You know, I should really turn on the highlighting for this. It makes it a lot easier. Theoretically. There we are. Didn't mean to do that.
In its prime, this one.
400.
Female. I once knew a hunter who, in dire straits, Walked many days using 2 of these animals as shoes.
There we go. Damn it, I think I scared him. That reduces the standing gain.
Adult.
Oh, no, apparently not scared. They squawked like they were scared, but they weren't scared. This game has been surprisingly generous on that.
This one's services are required elsewhere. So, off they go.
Why are they there? Stop with the dramatic thing. Just let me grab this.
An impeccable example of this species. Full grown. Female. Another Kuaka. You are aware the female of this species becomes fertile immediately after giving birth. Yes.
There we go. Cleared out these enemies. Did Warframe feel buggy or laggy for you today? I've not noticed anything of note. Here is spawn, over this way. Okay, actually all the way behind me, never mind. Highlight coming in very clutch there. Bop, bop.
The common Kondra could never be called glamorous, but their role is a necessary one.
Already behind, 3 poppers. And we drop in.
Full grown.
Ooh, Ghost Quackers. That was a 3600 standing right there. Nice. A very aggressive overslide, but again, got the land. Another 1200 standing. Oh, if I capture all of them.
Nature's janitor. Slow roasted and pale.
Again, confused on how you're supposed to use and build operator outside of Eidolon Hunts. Do you have or know of any good guides for this? I mean, it depends on what you're wanting out of your operator.
Hope you're
to be
having
quite
a
honest with
great
you.
day.
Robert! Thank you very much for the 46-month resub there. I am having a good day. Hope you're having a good one yourself as well, dude. Hope you're having a good one. Oh. Cheers indeed. Are captures faster for gaining standing than bounties? They might be slightly faster. Not sure entirely. But I know I do not enjoy bounties that much here. I've done them to death. But for that reason alone, this is preferable. Ah, balls. No, I'm trying to shoot. I think, yeah, I got the flare off. God damn it. Damn it! Ah, thought I could hit him midair. But yeah, when it comes to operator, it really comes down to what you're trying to use them for, because that's what the abilities are. Look at it like a different helmet system. Which abilities do you want to subsume onto your operator? That's why you want to use it. And then in terms of arcanes, same again. They're just more abilities, just kind of more passive. So, do you want... Ooh. I heard you, where are you? There. So, do you want to improve your melee combo? Naramon. Do you want to heal your allies? Vazarin. Do you want to have strong operator damage in burst? Madurai. Do you want to have more strength? Madurai or Zeneric. Do you want energy? Zeneric. Do you want to open enemies up for easy finishes? Vazarin or Naramon? So on and so forth. Hold it right here. It is a case of utilizing it just for what it needs, what you need. How are we doing? 12,800, still plenty of room for more. No, not stealth. Oh my god. It's a good thing they're invulnerable, because I'd kill so many jumping the gun on pressing X.
population levels of the plains
I would kill so many of them.
danger of dipping. This one's services are required elsewhere. So, off they go.
Call for collection, call for collection,
Male.
and call for collection.
You are aware the female of this species becomes
Lovely.
fertile immediately after giving birth. Yes. Male.
Boom. I think that just spawned over here. Easy pickups. If I spot them. Oh, they were further than I thought they were.
Full grown.
Ta-da!
Male.
At least Disney isn't disappointed if I kill them.
A Kawaka
Yeah.
very useful improvised water skin.
Business, on the other hand. Oh, does Biz get mad?
In its prime, this one. Male.
Would I change the settings to make the animals purple? That is the ally highlighting.
Very helpful in
So if you open up your settings, you can either go through accessibility or just search. It's under accessibility, character highlighting, ally. Narrow it in, over this way. Quite a distance based on that silhouette. Just about to cross that. Got him. Did I get them all? Yup.
adult. Female.
Now who is shooting at me?
The Ashen Kawaka makes for good eating, Tenno. But if
Where'd it go?
preservation is your mission, so be it.
Ah. Smack. Oh, there's more of them. No. Whew. Got it in time. Okay. Creature over there. Sounded like he got scared. Probably only going to be a good capture.
Full grown.
Never mind. I literally know nothing about this game.
A foul-tempered omnivore, but key to maintain.
Just finished a Mastery 8 test. Nice! Look forward to Mastery 9. Mastery 9 is, it's a test. I think everyone here who's done it can confirm that Mastery 9 is in fact a test. Y'all know what I mean. Hello, Kunak. I don't know why I'm fighting all these ghouls. I'm here for standing. This isn't helping me. Can I go away now? Are we good? Where is it? Oh, those are really distant. God damn. There we are.
Adult. Female.
Up, up.
A plains Kawaka. Nature's janitor. Slow roasted and paired with hot chimera
Oh.
is a personal favorite.
Where was that? Down? Oh, okay, yeah. No, that makes sense. I was wondering for a moment, like, where could down be? Didn't realize I was right next to a cliff edge. God damn, these Grenadier are relentless today.
Prime this one.
Absolutely relentless. Go away.
Another Kawaka. You are aware
Another
the
one.
female
Where
of
you
the
at?
species becomes fertile immediately after giving birth. Yes.
Damn, shot the guy right out of the... Oh. Target without destroying it. I didn't destroy it. The water did. I mean, Ellie, MR9 used to be harder because there wasn't innate enemy radar. So until people equipped it, they'd be like, how am I supposed to do this? Oh, how am I supposed to track all the people? How? How? But now we have innate enemy radar, and that actually makes it easier. Oh, once again with a flying... Well, I'm just robbed now. There's an 8 enemy radar now? Yes. Without a companion, you have... I think, is it 30 meters of an 8 enemy radar?
I once knew a hunter who, in dire straits, walked many days using 2 of these animals as...
Cheers, Andrew. I'm sure you probably got someone with that. Kandrak. Got it. The highlight really helped out there. So screw that guy.
Female.
How bad is it panned across? We just see that guy collapsing.
You must not miss
How are we doing? Oh, maxed out. Excellent.
retreat to its area.
One less to deal with now. I think suffering through animal conservation on planes made you refarm Equinox for Subsume on Loki. 30. That's a bundle of tags right there. Nice. I don't know why I'm doing it this way. Master T's and I. Trade tags. What can I pick up with these tags? Anything interesting?
Show me the animal, and I will advise.
Well, I can't pick up any of those. I could get a whole bunch of elusive postures. I'm sure these have basically no market value, but I'm going to check. Elusive posture. Very few traded? No, there's quite a few traded. Looking around about 5 plat though. So, for someone at my mastery rank and just platinum levels, not really worth the time. Balanced posture doesn't actually work properly, so I don't know if anyone needs it. Nope. Loyal retriever, hardly anyone's going to want that, surely. 5 plat. Precision conditioning I can't even get, but what's it go for? 9 to 10 plat, makes sense. Call the weak, 5 plat at the moment, and bloodthirst. 5 plat, yeah, so not a lot of valuable options, I guess.
Another time then.
You've only sold 2 frames, those were 2 copies of New Primes. Yeah, fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. Yeah, balanced posture for free if you had any beast when it came out. Yeah, makes sense. Alright, let's check if I actually need the Standing with Fortuna before I drop on down there. I might actually be able to just get that outright from gems. Let's see. Where can you get drops from what channel? First of all, your caps lock button seems to be turned on. Second of all, Twitch announces drops in your drops inventory. Like you could just see which streams have it there and go straight to those streams. Thirdly, D announces whenever there's drops for the Warframe category over on the forums. So you'll want to go to the Warframe forums, live streams, any announcements are there. Lastly, usually if a stream has drops enabled, it'll have the tag drops enabled on it, so you can also search for the tag drops enabled. Hope that all helps for you. Alright then. Oh yeah, I got gems aplenty. I got gems aplenty here. Fist, 8 of them, maxes me out, easy peasy. Job done. Drops on Warframe International. I always forget Warframe International streams at about the same time as me on Wednesdays. I always forget. Thank you, Daimian. Was that Daimian? I think that's Daimian. Tell me if I'm getting that wrong. Yeah, the drops enabled tag is probably your safest bet for finding streams that have drops or are due to have drops, but the most reliable should be to go through the Twitch drops page, theoretically. Theoretically. And dumb debt bonds too? I could, Weird Kid, if I didn't already max out my standing. Pronunciation is Da. Ah. Da as in Damien? Damien, probably. You just added in a letter I to confuse people who try to read things. Got it. So yeah, 132, maxed out. 132, maxed out. Entrati 1 needs work. That's not Entrati, that's Cavia. Entrati 1 needs work.
I do not know that we are happy, Tenno. I'm not sure.
Just on the principle of, I have no idea as to the validity of that website or the safety therein, I'm going to remove that link. It may be valid, but I don't know you, and that's a random link out of nowhere. Hope you understand.
The boy.
Alright then, let's trade in some tokens for standing. We got grandmother tokens. Sack them in for 7,500. Mother tokens. 20k. Am I really going to run out of tokens here? God damn it. Okay, I'll do a bounty.
I'll be right here.
I'll go do a bounty. Rack 'em, fuck 'em, rack 'em, rack 'em, rack. Foreman, because I can. We got Leighton, we got Glaive, so if I need damage, I've got damage. Bring Eevee? Nah, let's bring Worm. Verglass. Make it even easier mode. Practically a laugh at that point.
My son will no
Does the
doubt
bounty
complain
contain
to
coconut shreds?
He thinks I was too strict with him. Yes, there are bounties.
There's a joke there and I'm not hearing it.
Interest. Good and faithful Tenno.
Can always get other tokens? Oh, they're so slow in
Over the
comparison.
years, many expeditions of both Grineer and Corpus have become trapped on Denos. Caches of
Conservation is a
resources
middle
left
ground
behind by the
on
survivors
Plains of
still
Eidolon
dot
and
the
Orb
surface.
Valis. Mining is great for standing Orb Valis. Fishing is great for standing on the plains. But here, standing is bounties.
Substantial cache of lost resources in this area.
Someone's here! I'm saved! Wait. You are here to help.
Did I unmod my Foreman and not notice? I hope I didn't unmod my Foreman and not notice, because that would suck. Something's wrong. Something is very wrong. Is my Foreman viral by chance? It might be. Did I mod it for viral on my default? I mean, granted dexterity on there, but that should have at least done something. Okay. Yeah. Let's do that. Actually, I don't want to dexterity it. There we are. Deimos of a Resistant Priest? It was level fucking 40, Umbrella. This is a gun that can shred the faces off of gods if it wants to. And it looked at a level 40 and cried. Something went wrong there. The lack of pure damage has an effect, but not that much. Something was just off.
Forward to your return, as do we all. Over the years, many expeditions of both Grineer and Corpus have become trapped on Denos. Caches of resources left behind by the survivors still dot the surface.
Sounds
See what you can
good.
find and bring back.
Proximity alert. Multiple protect the immediate area from incursion.
Will do. That was a little bit better. Little bit better. Yeah, for long range on the Foreman, that's better. What I think the potential problem was if the config was fine. I didn't have any pure damage to get started with. And wasn't using the melee for the melee dexterity, so that could be contributing. But it did feel like just the mods weren't there. No, it might just be a matter of lack of the pure damage. It could honestly have just been that. If there was an ancient healer nearby, if they spawn around here, I can't honestly remember, I'm used to just blowing up things. That could have contributed as well. But hey, we're all good now. As you can see, the Foreman is back to its full flapping state. Very much back. Ooh, okay. I always forget those things can go full roly-poly mode if they feel like it. We usually kill them first. We good for enemies? Nope, we got more. They just instantly evaporate. Yep. It's pretty effective. Finally quit streaming, love your channel. Hey, welcome on in. Welcome into the channel. I am currently doing a bounty because I want to max out the Entrati standing. Hope you're doing well yourself. Where the hell did you just get Overguard from? Hacks. I call hacks. Overguard. I'll just say, I forget, you mentioned the reasons why you chose Dan as a zero to hero name because it holds great importance, right? Ah, I see you've not paid attention to Dan's full name in the videos. Don't worry, you'll figure it out. Bop. Yoink. The Foreman has a satisfying sound. When you got fire rate like this on it as well. Just this drill. It may not be the most powerful weapon in the game, but it is certainly one of the more fun ones. These Rexes are really going for me. Dan Tayford, oh, when is their name? Full name? Yep. Dan, who has a plan to defeat the Steel Path Murmur because he saw it in a vision, using Dante. Come on, give me that sample. There it is.
Fantastic. I'm starting the
Xmas of this, okay.
always tools invested, so keep me safe.
There's another. Tear it apart. That thing is flinging from very long range.
We are green across the board. All samples cleared.
You like the infinite ammo aspect of the Foreman? It is nice, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a little bit of regen needed on it, but it's fine. Is there any weapons I intend to use at the end of Dan's Jit? Not really sure what you mean by the end of Dan's Jit. Not a phrase I'm familiar with there. You might hit enter a little bit too soon.
Questioning.
Friends now,
Oh. On-call crew. That should have them pretty handily beat. Are there any weapons I intend to use at the end of Dan's journey, or is it just whatever? It's pretty much a case of what I have best built to take down the Steel Path Murmur. I do have some weapons in mind, but you'll see as and when it all comes together if that is indeed what happens. I'm not going to lock myself in to anything particular at this stage, because let's face it, there's a whole series left to go. Why try and invent the end when we've barely done the middle? Not even middle, we're at the start, let's be real. We're at the start. There is a lot still to go. What's he shooting at? I actually can't see what he was shooting at. However, my NPC crew is demolishing. Oh, he's shooting at that? All the way over there? I can do that. Got it. Kill steal. 100% to 0. That is the power of NPC crew right there. Thanks, action movie.
Given the poor performance of those Grenier,
Okay, Malicitos. I just want to be clear right now. Are you being serious? If you're being serious, I'll explain it to you. If you're having a laugh, have it in private. Do I use Prime Fulmination on the Foreman? No. Prime Fulmination is a secondary mod for starters. So, no.
sensory filaments. These are a rich source of biological data on the infestation.
One down.
God, she's going to pop off some more, isn't she? So, Dan Tayford Arwin. If I say that quickly, Dan Tayford Arwin. It's a pun. Dan Tayford Arwin. It has always been, and always will be, a pun. Damn, can you get that one time?
Another pun? How humiliating.
How liberating to have such command of the English language. Enjoy puns, because if you allow yourself to be annoyed by puns, you're just suffering when you don't have to. Yeah, got that one as well. That's a decent number. You feel dumb for not cashing out? Yeah. Dan Tayford Arwin. Dan Tayford Arwin.
A fine harvest indeed. The information received exceeds expectations. That is a positive wealth of data, but that may not the data we are looking for. Nonetheless, good work, Tino.
Watched your videos about Zor so many times. So nice to see you finally in stream. Hey, welcome on in, Captain. Welcome on in as well. I take it that the Zor's video has been very helpful to you then.
Oh, hey, there's a cache near here. Maybe it's the one we're looking
Hey, they may have found the cache now. We can wrap up this bloody bounty. The best reaction to a shitty pun is definitely boo. If someone just rolls their eyes and dramatically tries to leave the room, you know you've done well. I don't know why I thought this was a defense one. I need to go chase down the tumors. Oops. One down. Let's see, where's the others at? There's one over this way. There it is. And then the third one, get a location. It's going that way. Here it is. Easy.
Well done.
Got it. Absolute maximum bonus as well. It's easy mode.
You have a cache unlocked.
Oh, got bonus ire as a result.
For our collective efforts.
Don't mind if I do.
I'm not sure what we would do without these occasional windfalls.
Rival Captain, does that mean Captain Sweatpants and Captain Jack Moose now have to duel it out? I think they can both enjoy their own captain's hats, don't they? There is more than one ship in the world. Stop trying to cause issues. Bad lass. Alright, so, Grandmother, I desire standing.
You and I have a chinwag.
There we go.
Thank you, dear.
Max out what I can do for the day. I actually maxed it out entirely. Brilliant. That's perfect. So now I've got all 3 open worlds fully standing up. Full of standing, maxed out, what do you want to call it? Point is that as and when Zaku Prime drops, I can now grab a whole bunch of relic packs from all over the place. Fingers crossed, that'll make farming Zaku a lot easier. Fingers crossed. There's no guarantee on that. Now, just as a reminder, y'all, we have got a raffle running today as well. Exclamation mark raffle if you forget the details, or if you're new to the stream and don't know how those raffles work. But basically, there is 75 platinum that can go away to one person on any platform here. Exclamation mark ticket if you're not already in it with a chance to win it is 1 ticket per person. Doesn't matter if this is your first message or 1 millionth message. Everyone just gets a single ticket. What was the consensus on the melee mods? There's a bit of a mixed consensus. So they're all good. They all have their place. This one you use if you'd use initial combo. It's not otherwise important or useful. This one is complicated, but it's good. This one is if you use status damage and status chance. If either one of those things are not true, you don't use this this mod. Otherwise, you use the mod. Right? Yeah. If you use status damage and status chance, use the mod. So a direct damage melee that doesn't care about damaging procs, don't use it. If you are using it for status damage but only from forced procs, don't use this. There is melee elementalist, which will be better at that point. Now, like you said, consensus, and given the pun chat earlier, that's what you're calling my decisions from now on. I see. I think that's about enough from you, Ellie. Ah, dear, 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 dear. Oh, dear. Okie dokie. Oh, I've been so stupid. I haven't done these alerts. I even said in the video I'll do them on the main account. Hold on. I gotta fix this real quick. How have I forgotten to do these? Oh, I was busy. Videos don't make themselves, you know. AI's not that good yet. Have you seen AI videos? Ugh. The captions don't write themselves. AI captions are shit. The voice doesn't do itself. You want to get my inflections? You want to get my pacing down pat? Yeah, try and get AI to be as scatterbrained as me. Good luck with that one. And then to get an AI to come up with some of the the answers to what's happening in Warframe? An AI would look at some of the things we have to do in Warframe and go, oh, that can't be real. That's been generating. Like, no, that's how it works. It be done. You hear good things about diving videos? I'm missing some context on that one. And I would recommend galvanized square steel on more weapons. Yeah, it would start detailing the process as to how to literally galvanize your weapon, wouldn't it? Or it'd start going into electrolysis with some kind of sacrificial steel. I don't know why I'm putting so much effort into this. I don't need to be killing them so aggressively. I do need to power it up though. Should probably make sure I do that.
This excavator is fully powered.
Didn't just say that? Say what?
Will be used to restore its shields.
There was something getting something on Discord by being a sub, was it? You remember something with I getting something on Discord? Oh, right. So, yeah, if you're a subscriber to a channel on Twitch, and they haven't set it up like I do, then you get access to the static Twitch emotes as Discord emotes. And not only that, you can use them in any Discord, even if you don't have Discord Nitro. With my channel specifically, you also get access to the Supporter Tea Lounge. So this is a premium channel. The only way to access it is a Twitch sub, YouTube member sub, or a Patreon subscription. Any one of those gives you access. Is the premium chat, yeah, premium text and chat room, basically.
Excavator is ready to go. Keep it powered and protected from enemy fire.
And then just say sacrificial steel. Not to dive, you're gonna have to explain your horror at the moment, because I ain't picking up what you're putting down. Maybe I'm missing a joke you're trying to make, but I ain't seeing it. There's a chat room you're thinking of? Ah, fair enough. Well, glad we found the answer. Glad we found the question. Okay, that power cell is far too far away. There we are. Much closer ones.
This excavator is fully powered. Additional fuel cells will be used to restore its shields.
Greetings! Have you had a chance to review the Sentinel weapon since rework? I have not. It is on the list. D changed a lot of things. And I am but one content creator. Suffice to say, Verglass still absolutely shreds phase. So that's good. There's an operator bug where you can't use abilities to do anything but move most of the time. Good to know. Yep. Many of us here have experienced it. I know this is for an umbral former, but 5 rounds of cryotic.
Excavator deployed. Protect the unit while it extracts the
Very much a I guess, but like. The other one is 100 meters that way. Could I get away with deploying both? They got pretty low hit points. Maybe I can power this one up and then leave NPC crew on it. Might work. I'm willing to gamble on it.
This excavator is fully powered. Additional
You
fuel
stay
cells
here.
will be used to restore its shields.
If I could get another power cell and take it over, that'd be great. There we go. Well, that was weird. It landed in reverse. I really don't need to be opening lockers at this level. Yo, NPC crew, how the fuck is it losing hit points? What the shit? Alright. Should be good now. It's only got 10 seconds left on it. Yoink. Let's go get the crewman back. Follow me. Here we go.
Excavator is fully powered.
Barely said they told them to follow me.
Cells will be used to restore its
Oh,
shields.
there they are.
One down.
Hold position. That should have that covered. And that'll allow me to go on to a new site. Grab a power cell. You know what? Grab another power cell. We're using tactics now. Again with the reverse landing. So weird.
Excavator is ready to go. Keep it powered and protected from enemy fire.
The tactical is great. Fair enough. Yoink.
This
Fully
excavator is
powered.
fully
Excellent.
powered. Additional fuel cells will be used to restore its shields.
We're just going to hold this now for a minute, and then the Umbral Former will be mine. Splendid. What does Lavos' gameplay loop look like? You're watching it right now. But the thing is, he's not restricted into a single loop. He's a multi-tool. So unlike certain frames where you set and forget one defensive ability and then you constantly cycle two other abilities to get some specific combo going, he's got 4 different abilities which are just a combination of effects. They can work together but also independently. He's got healing, which also opens for finishers and also deals toxin damage and also deals a infused damage. He's got mobility, which also acts as a crowd control and a slowing zone and a crate buster. He's got ammo and orb conversion, which helps as a sustain. Can also sustain heavy weapons. Shocks enemies, opens them for finishers, reduces cooldowns on his abilities. And then he's just got raw, bloody damage. The ability. Yeah. If 1, 2, 3, 4 on the elemental thing, how do you activate the abilities? I have it set to tap cast for ability, hold cast to infuse. And then I've just gotten used to using him. Am I picking up? He seems great. He absolutely is. He really, really is. Hey, Umbral Former, fully built as well. Oh, lovely stuff. Stretch. Is he hard to farm? You get him from the Intrati at, I think, rank 3? Let me double check on that one. Lavos Warframe. Yeah, main blueprint rank 2, component blueprints rank 3, so rank 3. 20,000 standing to get all the blueprints, and then to build him you do need a mix of resources. You're going to need Hexanon from Jupiter, you're going to need things like Cabochon Embolos and Trapezium Xenahast from mining, you're going to need Argon Crystals, you're going to need Nitane Extract, you're going to need Cryotic, you're going to need Oxium, you're going to need Orokin Cells, you're going to need Titanium, which is from Railjack. So he does take quite a bundle of material types, but he doesn't take a lot of those materials, so I would not call him a hard farm at all, no. The 20,000 standing is very, very manageable. It's a couple bounties, maybe a few if you lower level, and rank 3, not that much of an issue to get hold of, because you've got Let's see, rank 3 with Entrati requires 5,000, 22,000, and 44,000 standing. So that is 71,000 standing. And you're going to need to trade in some spinal core sections, easy. Keratinos, blueprint parts, father token, daughter token, easy. Common Avachia tag, should be easy. MedJ Predacyte tag, not as easy. Mother token, son token, easy. So yeah, honestly, not that bad of a farm. Not that bad. It is a few days because of the daily standing limit, but that's the same thing as just ranking up the Syndicate anyway, which you'll want to be doing. Is that the ones on Deimos? It is, yes. Entrati family's on Deimos. We got one moment for last mission, right? We may have Moon. Is there something behind that question? What you're actually asking there, Moon? Also, rank ups. Oh, just the one rank up this time. I have 550 creds to spend. And wait, they shall. Yup. Burglass is better Artax? In a sense, yeah. Artax has a unique trait of always having cold on the weapon, but pretty much, yeah. Just wondering if you're closing the stream post-haste. Oh, I see. Moon's got somewhere to be, guys. Moon here has got somewhere to be. I understand. It's fine. Yeah, you're getting utterly distracted by me, and yeah, you've probably got homework or chores to do, something important, and you need me to just get the hell out of here. I hear you loud and clear, Moon. I hear you loud and clear. You don't need to try and defend yourself. You don't need to hide away from it. We get it. You were curious if we were wrapping up the stream. I'm gonna stop. But no, we are at the point of wrapping up, and given what I have in terms of the sleep schedule at the moment, I would very much like to address that and improve it. So we are not going to drag needlessly on with it. No siree. Oh, just one moment. Oh, yeah. Sorry, just had a message I needed to respond to there. Didn't realize that would have come through. What is it with people messaging me on Discord when I am live streaming? It's like, I have a live stream. It says I'm live. Just come to the live stream. Anyway, sorry about that. Right. We've got a platinum raffle to do. So, exclamation mark ticket if you've not already grabbed a ticket. If the bot says no, too many tickets, you already have one. That's fine. I'll give you all a minute on that for those of you who've recently joined us and didn't realize there was a raffle running today. 75 platinum is available, going out to one lucky person or one lucky platform today on this stream. It could be your first ever message, as in the case of Noctra Prime here. It could be, as I say, your millionth message. You could be a follower, subscriber. You could be just some random bozo popping on through. If you are some random bozo popping on through, I would highly recommend hitting that follow button as well, because it is completely free to do. If you're going to enter a giveaway, at the very least, you can consider clicking that button. Let's be real now. And if you do enjoy what you see in the videos, on the streams, everything I do put together basically, then also consider hitting that subscribe button. Give it just a moment for those last tickets to come through. Just a moment on that. At least you can decide to get a ticket instead of what you want to run in Warframe. Sure. Tickets are easy to do. You just ticket. Do remember, if you're the winner, you will need to respond within 24 hours. There are people who win and then just don't respond, and, well, I can't give you a prize, can you? Our current world record for latest response to a ticket was 9 months after they won. Needless to say, they did not get their prize. 9 months is, let me see, around about 9 months too late. Just a little bit out. But it happens. It definitely do be happening sometimes. So, that is enough time for everyone to grab their tickets. Let's end that draw and let's see who's going to be the winner today. How many tickets we got? 103 of them. Beautiful. Beautiful. Alright then. out of those 103 of you, with just shy of a 1% chance, the winner today is Leslie the Dragon. Leslie the Dragon, congratulations, you are the Platinum winner today. I'll be contacting you shortly after the end of this stream, get hold of your Warframe username, platform, and cross-save status. We'll be able to get that sent on over to you there. Oh, congratulations to you on that then. Again, Leslie the Dragon. That's Leslie, Leslie. The Dragon spelled kind of like how you bloody well expect. There they are in chat. Wow, they say. Wow, indeed. Let's see, you grabbed that ticket. Yeah, you grabbed it about an hour ago. What do you look at that? Still here after a whole last hour in the stream. Dedicated and well deserving of that there. Let me send you a quick smiley face. The Mirror Lane special. Leslie, if you could just respond to that message there, as I say, with your Warframe username, platform, and cross-save status, I'll send you all the further details shortly after the end of the stream here. But for now... Weird Kid saying technically 8.97 months too late. Oh, sorry, Weird Kid. Oh, you thought I meant exactly 9 months late on the person, didn't you? Stop trying to be so pedantic correcting me. Do you even know who I am? I'm a engineer. You keep it practical. I'm not going to give you exactitudes of when they arrived. How late they arrived. Come on now. I thought I'd brought this community better than this. I thought you better. Anyway, who can we raid today? Let's have a look. Whose stream are we going to drop into and give a whole load of love to? Because I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people. I'm sure. Let's see. We got us here apparently at about 200 people. My god, I did not realize we were that busy today, actually. That's amazing. We got someone doing a rerun. That is not amazing. Sympathy, we headed over to them recently. Also, I think they tried to wrap up around this time, so let's not be harsh on them. Man, there is a lot of VTube out today. Good god. That is a lot of VTube out today. Wow. Yikes. Yeah. Let's go over to Dimply. Why not? Not a VTuber. Alright. That's far from the most positive thing I can say about them, but it is an absolute fact at the moment. So let's see what they're up to today. They're on Warframe. They're just wrapping up a mission. Saren on the screen there. So that is where we're heading on over to. That's all from me, though, for today, guys and gals. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you again on Friday for some more Not Warframe. Do your absolute best and take care. Bye-bye.